Well, hello. Welcome back. Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. On November 6th, 2022, a wet, rainy, possibly snowy day. On the weather forecast, it says snow and rain tonight here in Richmond. So, depending on which part of Canada you are in, I mean, if you're in sunny California, then obviously you are in a good place. But if you're like me, you're here in the Great North, brace yourself, dress warm, stay comfortable, and be very careful. Take caution when you are out there on the road. Remember, even if you are careful, another driver might not be quite as careful. And even when everybody is careful, sometimes accidents do happen when it's slippery condition out there. Anyway, that's just my little PSA of the day, my little positive energy, because our topic of the day is a little controversial. I actually wanted to talk about this for a long time, but every week I kept putting it off because it is such a controversial topic. And so before we actually going into talking about this very touchy, very sensitive subject, let me just preface this by saying this is not me telling you something that educational or scientific or uh, it's not me telling you that it have to be so, it have to be done this way. This is right, this is not right. No, you can think of this episode more as this is more of a personal opinion based on years of observation and working with different couples and different marriage relationship situations. This is more of a personal musing, personal uh, accumulated kind of thoughts and opinions on my part. You can think of this as a little discussion, maybe just me expressing my opinion. Whether you agree, disagree, feel free to leave your insights with us in the comment section. Uh, so yeah, I just want to say that. And of course, when it comes to the idea of cheating, okay, uh, there are just so many ways to talk about this, and like I said, it's such a sensitive, touchy subject because I think most of us that have had a cheating partner in the past can relate to just how furious you were at the time, how hurt you were at the time, and this is why it's hard to talk about this in a very um, I guess subjective, objective, and more impartial manner because of the amount of emotional baggage usually come with this. Now, of course, when we talk about cheating, there's is one of the biggest argument is okay, how do you even define cheating? Right? How do you even define cheating? One person may say cheating, while the other person, from the other person's point of view, may not be cheating at all. It may be cheating in one relationship and not cheating in another relationship at all. So how do you even define this? Uh, so this is something that is very kind of philosophical and uh, uh, picky and wordy that I don't feel like going into it because it just go around and around and go nowhere because uh, everyone has their own unique perspective, their own feeling on the matter. Some people say if you talk to another woman while you are already in a relationship, it's cheating. Some people say no, it's okay if you have phone sex with someone else because there's no physical contact, so that it doesn't count as cheating. Some people think watching pornography is cheating. Some people think no, it's not cheating because it's just entertainment. So everyone has their own spin on it. So let's not sit here and argue about how to define cheating. Just for the sake of this video, I'm talking about cheating as in one partner um, go and have sex with someone else outside their relationship. Yeah, okay, we are sticking with the most basic definition here. Now, obviously, um, this does not apply if your relationship was already an open relationship. So if if you have an open relationship, then your whole perimeter for cheating is very different than other people's. And that obviously this doesn't apply to you. And if you have like religious reason, like some people they said it's cheating because in my religion it said if someone else touch your hand, then it counts as infidelity. Well, then that is not included here. In this video, as far as my video go, cheating is defined as one partner having sexual contact with someone else outside the relationship without the consent or prior knowledge of the other partner. Okay, we'll stick with that. Very simple. Now, of course, we want to say cheating is wrong. Cheating is bad. Cheating should never happen, and it's unforgivable, and it should be punished, and it should be discouraged. In an ideal world, that really should be the case, right? But let me quickly point this out that human, again, depending on your religious belief, but scientifically, human, we're animal. We came from a long line of evolutionary changes with many traits, many things pre-programmed into our genetic makeup. Okay? And that include the need to procreate as much as we can, especially for male species of this, male members of this species. Men, why do men uh, always want to scout out prospective sexual partner? It's because a big part of that is a pre-programmed into our DNA that you want to procreate as much as you can. Now, keep in mind, once you get a woman pregnant, she is not, relatively speaking, not very useful for procreation for the next year. 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, 12 months, depending on the recovery period after that. So once you get someone pregnant, your DNA, a man's DNA, male DNA, basically said, okay, you've done your job here. Now your job is to find someone else so you can procreate. Okay? I'm not saying that that is right. And we definitely have evolved to fight that base instinct. We are not supposed to act like animals, right? So yeah, before you say that doesn't apply, I agree. I agree. We should fight our base instinct, but the fact remains the instinct is there. Okay, this was what we were programmed to do. Let me say that again. This was what we were programmed to do. Now, if in religion you can say, I do this because this is what God put me here to do, then it is just equally valid for someone to say, I do this because this is what evolution told me to do, right? Okay, so let's go beyond that. Let's move beyond that because again, we don't want to get too philosophical and get stuck on this basic point before we even get anywhere with today's little rant, video, talk, lecture, whatever you want to call it. Um, we just want to establish that uh, while it is good, it makes us feel good to say cheating is wrong. Oh, cheating is wrong. It's unforgivable. We have to remember that this is programmed in there. Okay, this was not meant to be wrong in the very beginning. So uh, you can't say that this is something alien, something unexpected. If anything, this should be something that is expected. Now, moving beyond that, so what situation, what kind of cheating can be forgivable? What kind of cheating can be tolerated? What kind of cheating can it shouldn't be tolerated, shouldn't be forgiven? Because while we like to say that cheating is unforgivable and all that stuff, the fact remains too is many times. I can't even beginning to tell you how many times I see this in my clients for counseling. One person get cheated on again, and again, and yet they'll stay with their partner. They'll keep forgiving them. They'll keep forgiving them. Forgiving them. Uh, um, for various reasons. A lot of time, the reason is finance. A lot of time, the reason is family, children, religion. I once knew this couple that I was friend with. The woman went as far as cheating, blatantly cheating, like the husband sleeping in the bedroom and she's uh, getting it on with her lover in the next room. Uh, and I asked the husband, how come you're okay with that? How come you're not getting a divorce? And he told me because it's against his religion to get a divorce. Yeah, okay, you know, I don't even have any way to any word I can express how I feel about that, like without feeling like I'm disrespecting someone's religion. But anyway, to me that's totally different. Um, so to make it nice and compact and easy to digest, I have uh, consolidated our list down to three kind of cheating that might be forgivable, three kind of cheating that uh, might be tolerable, might be you might be able to work past this and end up having a really good relationship. And the three kinds of cheating where it should not be tolerated, it shouldn't be tolerated, it shouldn't be forgivable. Uh, if you forgive this, most likely you'll end up with really bad relationship in the future. Right? Uh, Again, this does not apply to open relationship or alternative lifestyle and stuff like that. This is strictly speaking very basic heterosexual, homosexual, like one-on-one partner scenario where cheating is defined by one partner is having sexual relationship elsewhere outside the relationship without the consensus of the other partner. So the first kind of cheating, actually, let's change the word cheating, because it always has a negative connotation. We'll change it to something more positive. Positive. We'll call it infidelity. Yeah, okay, that's not much better. So the first kind of infidelity that is somewhat forgivable, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, of course. My video is of course it's my opinion. So the first type of infidelity that is somewhat forgivable or could be forgiven uh, is uh, impulsive, spontaneous infidelity. What do I mean by that? Impulsive, spontaneous infidelity. Uh, This is the kind of thing that is not planned. Because this is something that, let's say your partner is very sad, and a coworker just happened to be there, coworker that is very attractive, very kind, very gentle, just happened to be there at the right time, at the wrong place, and your partner confide in this coworker. They maybe talked and consoled each other, and then they decided to have a hug, and then go out drinking together, and then afterward they both got drunk, and something happened, and next day your partner feel really guilty and tell you about it. Yeah, would you be hurt and angry? You probably would be, but this is something that it's almost understandable because, as I said, At the very basic level, we are animals, and depending on the circumstance you find yourself in, sometimes you can help it, sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes willpower prevails, sometimes willpower takes a back seat. It's just that simple. So if it's something like this, or something, something that the person just got into a situation at that time where willpower didn't didn't win this time. Uh, it's not pre-planned. It's not with vicious intention. It's not intentional. Then this can be forgivable. Now, keep in mind, if this keep happening, like your partner have sex with someone this week because he or she got drunk and he or she couldn't help it, and then next week have sex with someone else because that this someone else was really sad and they were comforting them, and the next week it's something else. Then this change into something completely different. We'll talk about that in a section where we talk about infidelity that shouldn't be forgiven. But if it's like one-time thing or just something that very spontaneous, very rarely occurring, uh, then you can definitely try to consider that maybe this is forgivable. Maybe this is just something. Maybe your partner just really need to have better self-control and and stay at home more. Maybe something can be done at home to change this situation. The second kind of infidelity that can be, should be forgiven, let's say can be. I don't want to say should be because really these things really shouldn't happen in the ideal world. So let's say can be forgiven, could be forgiven, is circumstantial infidelity. What is circumstantial infidelity? This is when your relationship is causing a condition, a circumstance, a situation where the person, by all logic, pretty much is put in that position that they have to do something uh, to balance things out. If I put it this way, you might find it a little bit abstract. But let me uh, let's say you are in a relationship with someone who works overseas. You see each other once a year, once every year, and you barely ever get to spend any intimate time together. In this case, if you, the person who stay at home, finally snap and decide to find someone to alleviate some of these urges or loneliness, or the person overseas decide to get some take care of this situation in a maybe cheating or infidelity related way, then you either need to just like change the relationship because if this is bothering you that much, then you shouldn't be in this relationship. Uh, or this may be forgivable because this is not done out of viciousness or not because a person is bad. Because when you starve a person long enough, that person has to do something about it. Right? If even if it's your favorite dog, if it get hungry enough, it may eat you if you are dead. Okay, it's that simple. Uh, it's got nothing to do with the dog not being loyal, but it has to survive. And so human beings is very similar. You push someone into the corner uh, in a circumstance like I described, when there's no intimate relationship to be had, or hardly any, or there's no emotional connection. Like let's say one person's always working, the other person's always at home, and the person at home has a lot of time on his or her hand. The person working never have time to spend with them. Well, then the person at home eventually have to do something about it. Now, some people. will say, well, if that is that bad, why don't you leave the relationship before you do something about it? If you think that way, then I can only say that you have been very lucky that you have not been put in that position before. Because sometimes it doesn't mean that you don't love the person anymore. Sometimes you still love the other person so much that you don't want to leave them, but you have to do something about your sex drive. Sometimes you have to do something about this situation before you feel like you have murdering them in their sleep, right? So sometimes you are forced into that corner where you still love the person, you don't want to leave them, you don't want to hurt them, but you have to do something about this lack of intimacy, lack of communication, lack of emotional connection situation. Um, I have heard of people, in long distance relationship, I have heard people say, oh, well, if my partner was to sleep around and stuff like that, as long as they let me know, I'm okay with that because that obviously, we are in long distance relationship, we don't see each other, so it's natural they need to do something about it. And then I have heard other people say, well, if my partner sleep around, as long as I don't find out, that's okay. As long as I don't have to hear about it, because again, it's natural. If we're in long distance relationship, they have to do something about it. That's okay. As long as I don't have to hear about it, it's fine. So sometimes you need to step back from your ego, step back from your uh, victim mode, feeling victimized, feeling it's all about hurting you. I think maybe this person is cheating or having infidelity issue because something is really lacking in this relationship that need to be addressed. Okay, so a lot of time, if it's this kind of infidelity, once you address the issue, it goes away and never reappear again. So yeah, so infidelity caused by a very extreme kind of circumstance can be or could be considered to be forgiven. Now, the third kind of infidelity that could be forgiven, this one is the one that's hardest to swallow, but it's brutal fact, is power play infidelity. What is power play infidelity? I once had a relative that came to me and said, my girlfriend is cheating on me. I caught her in bed with someone else. I said, well, I, what are you going to do? Are you going to confront her? Are you going to leave her? Are you going to do something about it? And this relative said, I don't know, man. She, uh, she's the one working. She's the one that pays my phone bill. She's the one that pays my car insurance. She's the one that pay for the rent. So if I leave her, I have nothing. And I said, well, can't you like find a job and pay for your own thing? He said, I don't know, dude. I don't think I can. I don't think I want to. I just shrugged my shoulder and was like, well, I guess you are basically telling her it's okay. Go ahead, keep doing it. Because in this kind of situation where there's an imbalance in the relationship, where one person have control, one person have all the power, then the person that does not have the power basically loses the right to complain, loses the right. You have the right to leave anytime you want. But if you choose to stay, there's no way for you to change the other person's behavior because if the other person have to pay your bill, pay for everything, and do all the work, and you don't contribute in any meaningful way in their mind, maybe in your mind you feel you're contributing, but obviously if they feel that they can just cheat on you, then you are not doing enough. You are not contributing to the degree they think you should. Right? In this case, there's nothing to stop the other person from uh, cheating on you or sleeping with whoever they want. Because if we want to be brutally blunt, you are like a pet. Right? If I have enough money to keep one cat, no? If I have enough money to get another cat, I may get another cat. If I have enough money to get five cats, I may choose to get five cats. Same with a partner. That in this kind of relationship where one partner is more like a pet than anything else, a sugar daddy kind of relationship, sugar mommy kind of relationship. There's really nothing for you to bargain with. So in this case, it's not even that you could forgive them. It's more like you have you have no choice. You either leave or you have to forgive them because there's nothing for you to bargain with. And this situation applies to situations where, okay, your partner is cheating on you, but you have five children that you are trying to raise together. Now, your partner may be cheating on you, but he or she is still doing very good by the kids. They're still pulling their own weight, being a good parent. Well, in this case, same thing. Like, are you going to put your own feeling above the feeling of your children, or are you going to be adult about it and say, okay, you know, you're cheating on me, but you are still a good parent, so we'll be good parents together. We'll wait until the children grow up, and then we'll do something about this cheating situation. So this is a situation where benefits and power and finance and all that uh, extra influences, extra factors come into play. So in this situation, uh, cheating may be forgivable. So now we talked about three kind of infidelity that could be, maybe, can be forgiven. Now let's talk about three kinds of infidelity that should not be forgiven. Because when you forgive these infidelity, when you forgive these behavior, you are essentially saying that, yeah, go ahead, hurt my feeling, disregard my feeling. I am worthless, and you don't have to concern about me anymore. You can do whatever you want to hurt my feeling. So in the future, your relationship will not be a happy one because you have already given up the right to be an equal partner when you forgive this kind of behavior. Number one is preemptive infidelity. What is preemptive infidelity? Is when you first get together with this person. We see this a lot. I mean, we see this a lot with you just start dating this boy or this guy, and then this guy still meeting up with his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or whatever, and then they still get intimate, and he's telling you, well, it's just because he misses her so much, yada yada yada. And at this point, if you forgive this behavior, then you are just opening yourself up for giving him the green light to cheat on you whenever he wants to later on. If he hasn't even built a solid relationship with you and he's already cheating, and if he or she is already cheating before you cemented your relationship, before you even have any uh, amount of time to discover any problem in your relationship, then that means they already don't respect you. They already don't trust you. They don't respect you. They don't care about you enough. So in this case, if you just started to date someone, or you're thinking of marrying someone, but this person already have infidelity tendencies, this is the time to put your foot down and say no. I will not forgive this behavior. Number two is chronic infidelity. What is chronic infidelity? This is when we talk about uh, circumstantial, uh, 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 spontaneous uh, infidelity. Okay, the person will get drunk and then have infidelity and then come home and feel really bad about it and tell you about it next day and then you forgive them. Cool. First time, fine. Next day, next week they do it again. Next week they do it again. Next month they do it again. 2 months later they do it again. This turns into chronic infidelity. Now they are just taking you for a ride. If they keep doing this, now it's no longer okay. One time it's okay, two times maybe, three times okay. But if you're very, very generous and if you're really open minded, but you keep this up, they'll never stop. Right? When it become a constant recurring situation, it doesn't matter what kind of story they feed you, it doesn't matter what kind of circumstance they find themselves in. If this become a recurring thing, then it should not be forgiven. Okay? You need to set a very firm boundary on this. If you relax too much, if you keep letting it go, then eventually you gave up any kind of right to complain after a certain amount of time. Sort of this sort of brings to mind where uh, my mom liked to complain right now. Like when I talk to my mom, one of the most often thing I hear her complain about is how my father never want to get his own food when he's hungry. He just sit there and say, "I'm hungry," and he expects food to be brought to him. But as I explained to her, you've been with this man for 45 years, and he's always been like that. You did not complain about it in the first 40 years. You only started complaining about this in the past 5 years. There's nothing that can be done. You can't complain about this now because you basically told him it's okay the first 40 years of your relationship. So you complaining about it now seems very invalid and very petty, not just to him, but to everyone who know how long you've been together, to everyone around you that know that he's always been this way. So if you want to be not okay about something, you need to snip it at the bud in the beginning. You let it go on for too long, you pretty much give up your right to complain about it. So this is chronic infidelity. Do not let it go on. Number three, and this is very, very important, is uh, uh, this kind of infidelity should never, never be okay. Okay, this is intentional infidelity. What is intentional infidelity? Your partner has been seeing this person, talking to this person. They've been exchanging text for months, days, and they're hiding this from you. And they are planning. They sneak out at lunch hours, and your partner lied to you, say he's going to work and then he's going to see this person. Then when there's intention in here with lies and deception and all kind of shifting blames and all kind of pre-planned, uh, premeditated meetings and dates and uh, sexual escapade. This is something that's very vicious. It's clearly designed to lie to you, clearly designed to keep you in the dark, clearly designed to treat you like a fool. In this kind of circumstance, it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of situation, what's the reason. It should not be tolerated, should not be forgiven. Like I said, these are just bits and pieces of uh, afterthought and I wouldn't even say wisdom, but bits and pieces of experiences I've accumulated from talking to different uh, clients and people and friends throughout the year. Uh, I hope that agree with me or disagree with me, you'll find this somewhat entertaining and worth your while. Thank you for checking out today's Soul Search Sunday. We'll be back again tomorrow for some Music Monday. For now, have a good night and stay warm.